6:30. Message from upline. Early up. Energy. The group is coming together. If it's 6:30 for me, that means it's 3:30 for him. What do I have to complain? All of this means it's starting.
Okay, let's look at two MLM companies that went into high momentum. Let's look at Herbalife and Nu Skin. So between 1980 and 1984, Herbalife went from small volume, $2 million in sales, to $500 million, $500 million in 4 short years. So let's look at Nu Skin now. In 1989, Nu Skin was doing $40 million in sales and grew to $500 million in 2 years.
To understand momentum, we first need to understand the description of momentum. What is the definition of momentum? So let me grab something here real quick. Okay, so momentum in physics is defined by the letter P. P equals M for mass, times V for velocity. So P is for momentum, mass times velocity. That's the definition in physics of momentum. So what does that mean? That means that mass times velocity is going to create that momentum. Let me give you an example. You have this big guy running on the street. You're going to say he's got momentum. Now, if you have a big guy and a small guy running at the same time, you're going to think, well, the big guy has more momentum. Well, I would probably prefer to stand in the way of the small guy than the big guy, all right? So that's the definition of momentum. So how come these companies that we talked about earlier were in momentum? Well, they had mass, a certain number of representatives in a market that all were in movement. 2 factors, mass and movement, all at the same time. And so now, if one of those companies didn't have that mass in a short period of time, so let's say they accumulated this same mass, the same number of representatives, but over, let's say, 10-year period, of 20-year period, that mass, not all of them would still be in movement. There would be maybe a small percentage of those people would be in movement. So you need those 2 things at the same time, meaning that you need to accumulate this mass of representatives in a short period of time because all of them are still in the game, excited, getting started. And as they're doing that, getting started and getting in movement, that mass creates that momentum together. So that's a big difference. So how do you create that, momentum for yourself? If you're all by yourself, you don't have that mass. Well, think at football. How come the small guy may actually be able to beat the big guy? Because the big guy may be running slowly while the small guy is running full throttle and hitting the big guy, and they can put them down. The same thing with your own momentum. When you launch your business, if you are in momentum because you have more velocity, you're acting super fast, what it's gonna do is maybe your mass is small, but because you have that much, push, you're going to create that momentum. So that's how you're able to get yourself in momentum.